She married another man. But every love letter she wrote was still meant for someone else. And the night her husband finally followed her, he found the truth waiting behind a door that should never have been opened. Before we dive into the incredible story, do not forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button so you never miss our powerful, life-changing content. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt story. If it moved you, share it, comments below, and let someone know you are never alone. The day she married him, the sky felt too wide, too bright, as if the world refused to notice the quiet fracture inside me. I stood at the edge of the crowd, dust rising beneath restless boots, the scent of dry grass and sun-warmed wood pressing against my chest. Her veil moved with the wind, uncertain. For a moment, just a moment, her eyes found mine. A shock ran through me, sharp as winter water. She smiled, kind, careful, and then she turned away. Life carried on. It always does. Months passed like slow rivers. I learned to breathe again, to work, to sleep without saying her name into the dark. Then the letters came, folded with trembling precision. My name written in her hand, the same hand that now wore another man's ring. I opened the first one at dusk. The air smelled of rain and iron. My fingers felt too large, too unworthy to touch the paper. I hope you are well. Simple words, safe words, but beneath them, her truth bled through every line. She spoke of mornings that felt empty, of laughter that never reached her bones, of a life built carefully, without love. Each letter carried her closer, each word undone the distance she chose. I read them beneath lantern light, heart unsteady, breath uneven, as if every sentence reshaped the world again. Then one evening, knock, hesitant, opened the door. The wind rushed in, cold against my skin, carrying the scent of rain and something breaking. She stood there, no veil, no careful smile, only truth. And in her hand, one last letter, unfinished, still bearing my name. Her fingers trembled, ink still wet along the edge of the page, as if the words refused to settle without me. I felt it then, a sharp pull in my chest, tight, unrelenting, like the moment before a storm breaks open the sky. Read it, she whispered, her voice, softer than memory, yet heavier than truth. The paper brushed my skin, cool, fragile, alive with everything she never spoke aloud. I unfolded it slowly. The lantern behind me flickered, casting uneven shadows across her face, light and dark shifting like doubt inside her eyes. I wake beside him, the letter began, and I search for something that never arrives. My breath caught, deep, uneven, as if the air itself resisted entering my lungs. Outside, the wind pressed harder, rattling the door, whispering through the cracks like a warning. She stepped closer. I could hear it, her breathing, quick, shallow, each inhale brushing against my silence. I tried to become the life I chose. The words continued, but my heart keeps returning to the place I buried it. A dull ache spread through me, slow and certain, like heat beneath the skin. The scent of rain grew stronger, damp earth rising, wrapping around us both. Every letter, she said, her voice breaking now, every single one was meant to end here. The space between us vanished. I could feel the warmth of her, the trembling she tried to hide, the weight of every unspoken year pressing forward at once. My hand lowered, the letter slipping slightly, as her fingers brushed mine. Electric, unexpected, undoing everything I rebuilt. A sudden crash of thunder split the night, sharp, violent, shaking the walls around us. She flinched, not from the sound, but from the truth rising too fast to hold back. I cannot keep living like this, she said. Barely a breath now, barely holding together. The lantern flickered again, then dimmed. Darkness leaned in closer, thick, suffocating, wrapping around the space we stood in. Her grip tightened on my hand, warm, desperate, and for one suspended moment, the world held its breath, waiting for something neither of us could take back. Her hand held mine, firm now, as if letting go meant losing something far greater than us. The darkness pressed closer, lantern light barely breathing, casting gold against the storm trembling at the door. "I tried to be strong," she said, each word slow, carefully placed, as if truth itself carried weight. Rain began, soft at first, then urgent, tapping against the roof like a restless heart. I felt it in my chest, that same rhythm, unsteady, pulling me toward her without mercy. "You deserve peace," I managed, my voice rough, foreign to my own ears. Her head shook, until, certain. "Peace without love feels like silence," she whispered. The words settled between us, heavy, undeniable, like earth over something still alive. Another flash, lightning split the sky, brief and blinding. For an instant, I saw her clearly, tear-lined cheeks, lips parted, hope and fear tangled in one fragile expression. Then darkness again, closer now, too close to pretend distance still existed. "I wrote to survive," she said, her breath warm against my skin. "But I came because surviving stopped being enough." My heart struck hard, louder than the storm itself. The letter slipped from my fingers, falling soundless to the floor, forgotten, yet somehow fulfilled. Her other hand rose, hesitant, then certain, resting against my chest. She felt it, the truth I buried, the years I carried, everything answered in that single trembling touch. Outside, the wind roared louder, pushing against the walls, as if the world itself demanded a choice. Inside, only her, only this moment, only the thin breaking line, between what was promised and what was real. Her voice dropped to almost nothing. "Tell me to go, and I will." The air stilled, dark, cold, unforgiving. My lips parted, but no sound came. Her hand tightened, just slightly, enough to reveal the fear she carried alone for too long. Another step closer. No space left now. No lies left. Only truth waiting. Dangerous, beautiful, impossible to escape. And in that suspended breath, the storm surged again, violent, sudden, as if something inside us had finally begun to break free. The thunder rolled through us, deep, unyielding, as if the sky itself answered the question I could not speak. My breath came sharp, uneven, caught somewhere between fear and longing. Her hand stayed against my chest, feeling every hesitation, every truth I tried to contain. "Say it," she murmured, not pleading, not demanding, only asking for something honest. The room felt smaller now, walls closing in, air thick with rain and memory. I swallowed, the taste of iron and something unfinished resting on my tongue. "If you stay," the words barely formed, fragile as glass. "Everything changes." Her eyes held mine, steady, unafraid of the ruin that truth might bring. "It already has," she said. A sudden gust forced the door wider, wind rushing in, cold and wild, lifting the edge of the fallen letter across the floor. It scraped softly, a quiet, restless sound, like something refusing to be ignored. She turned her head slightly, watching it move, watching the life she tried to write away return again. "I left before dawn," she said, voice low, almost lost beneath the storm. The words struck, harder than thunder. "I stood there," she continued, each breath tighter now, watching him sleep, and I felt nothing. The silence that followed felt wrong, too heavy, too full of consequence. Rain pounded harder, filling the space between us, yet never reaching what truly mattered. "And that terrified me," she added, her fingers pressing slightly into me, grounding herself in something real. My pulse answered her touch, faster now, no longer willing to hide. You deserve truth, she said, voice breaking at the edges, even if it destroys everything else. Lightning struck again, close, so close the walls seemed to shudder. For a moment, everything turned white, then gone. Darkness swallowed us whole. I felt her shift, closer still, her forehead resting lightly against mine, warm, uncertain, real. I am here now, she whispered. No distance, no letters, no hiding, only this, breath against breath, heart against heart, a choice forming in the space between seconds. My hand rose, low, hesitant, hovering just before touching her face. The storm raged louder, urgent, as if time itself refused to wait any longer. Her eyes closed, not in fear, but in trust. And in that fragile, breaking moment, when everything stood on the edge of becoming, the past pressed in once more, heavy, unrelenting, refusing to release us so easily. A sound cut through the storm, distant at first, then clearer, hoofbeats striking wet earth with steady urgency. Her eyes opened, wide, alert, the fragile stillness between us shattered, not by doubt, but by consequence finally catching up. My hand froze inches from her face. The air changed, charged, as if the world itself leaned closer to listen. You said you left before dawn, I whispered. Her breath faltered. I did. The hoofbeats grew louder, closer, unyielding in their direction. A flicker of fear passed through her expression. Quick, gone almost before it formed. But I felt it. Real. Rain lashed harder against the walls, wind forcing its way through every seam, carrying with it the scent of mud and something inevitable. He will come looking, I said. Not a question, a truth settling between us. She stepped back, only slightly, but enough to let the weight of the world rush in again. I knew that when I came, she answered, her voice steadier now, anchored in something stronger than fear. The letter at our feet shifted again, caught in a thin stream of wind, its edge folding, unfolding, like a heartbeat refusing to stop. The hoofbeats stopped. Silence. Sudden. Unforgiving. A door somewhere outside slammed. Hard. She flinched this time. No hiding it. No softening the truth of what stood just beyond these walls. My chest tightened, instinct rising, protective, certain in a way words never managed to be. You should go, I said, but the words came wrong. Too late. Oh, hollow. She shook her head slowly. Rain dripped from the edge of the doorway, each drop loud in the silence, counting something down neither of us could stop. I have gone my whole life, she said, quiet, resolute, and it brought me here. A shadow moved past the window. Deliberate. My pulse surged. Every sense sharpened at once. The creak of wood. The rush of breath. The nearness of something about to break open. Another step outside. Closer now. Too close. Her hand found mine again. Not trembling this time. Steady. Certain. Choosing. And in that tightening moment, with the storm roaring, the past at the door, and everything fragile between us, the handle began to turn. The handle turned, low, deliberate, each movement echoing louder than the storm itself. My grip tightened around her hand, warm, certain, no more distance left to hide behind. The door opened, wind rushed in, cold sharp, carrying rain and the weight of everything we tried to outrun. He stood there, ill, silent. Water traced the edges of his coat, dripping to the floor in quiet, steady rhythm. His eyes moved to her first. Not anger, not rage, something deeper, a knowing that arrived too late. I wondered where your heart had gone, he said, voice low, worn by truth rather than surprise. She did not let go of my hand. I tried to give you a life built on kindness, she answered. Gentle, honest. But a life without love asks a soul to disappear. The words settled softly, yet carried more force than any storm. Silence followed, not empty, but full of understanding. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. The storm dulled, not gone, just distant now, like something that had already done its work. "I see it now," he said, his gaze resting on our joined hands, then lifting again without bitterness. Pain remained, clear, undeniable, but shaped by something kinder than possession. "You both chose truth," he continued, quiet strength in every word. "And truth deserves its place, even when it hurts." A long breath left his chest, heavy, yet freeing. Then let it stand. No anger followed, no breaking, only a man who understood that love cannot be forced, cannot be borrowed, cannot be written where it does not live. He turned, opening the door once more. The rain had softened, gentler now, like the world itself had learned something in the storm. Before stepping out, he paused, just long enough to say, "Do not waste what you were brave enough to choose." Then he was gone, the door closed, quiet returned, not empty, but full of something new, something earned. I looked at her. No letters, no distance, no silence left between us, only truth. And in that quiet space, I understood. Love asks for courage, not perfection, not timing, only the willingness to be honest, even when honesty changes everything.